will be given 30 seconds before the vampires descend on you.
Alright, you will also be our feast for tonight. We reserve you the livestock section later. Alright, so let us begin with Tangman's P1 speech. How do you do it, humans?
Oh, looks as though we have to eat everyone now.
Or should we? You decide later. Let's start one minute. Okay, begin.
Okay. With me, ladies and gentlemen, some vampires alive.
Zombies?
Maybe zombies, yes, but not zombies.
Vampires.
Yeah, vampires. Okay.
Yeah, stop interrupting me, human.
Okay. Yeah, it's an honor for me to tonight be standing here giving my first prepared speech for the class. And well, I shall proceed to introduce a bit more about myself as part of the project one. And since the theme for tonight is Halloween, I shall tell you a story about about one of the most popular characters in horror novels, which is vampire. Well, I shall tell you a story of this vampire who is eccentric yet interesting to a good extent. Well, perhaps one has to agree that the spectrum of liberalism and conservatism existed as long as civilization did. So heated arguments from both sides is common on issues such as, well, which breed of humans has the tastiest blood, to even policies such as, well, the mutual salaries of our vampire lords. But this vampire doesn't seem to have a stand on anything. He likes to say, oh well, I like to sit on the fence. Well, very often, people will ask him, will your butt hurt sitting on the fence all the time? Well, but his answer will always be, oh, don't worry about me, because the fence I'm sitting on is wooden and doesn't have any pointy edges. Besides, once in a while, I will get out of it and move about. And besides, when I'm sitting on the fence, sometimes he will be facing a certain direction. Yes. And of course, to the next essential point, this vampire is always spotted alone, wandering along corridors, canteens, or even other private places. And during gatherings, he will be spotted at one corner, listening to the nonsense and the words of wisdom with his sharp ears, and observing the crowd with his keen eyes. And backstory, my lady, and
Very hungry.
and mo- and when he introduced himself, he would always like to say that he is introverted but not shy, because most of the people have this misconception in differentiating between introversion and shyness. He always like to explain, well, one can be extroverted but yet shy in front of a crowd, but one can be also be introverted yet comfortable with a crowd. So so this means that introversion is a choice, but shyness is not. Well, that is why he always like to say that, oh, I chose introversion, although some people would think otherwise. Yes. Well, of course, however, being a dark skin and all, he's, I would say he's quite hated to a good extent. Well, sometimes he will think to himself, well, I'm born like that anyway, am I right? But, but still he resents the fact that he, being a dark skin and all, he, he will do undue harm towards the people around him, including his loved ones. So for as long as you can remember, he sought for help far and wide in order to search for a cure to get out of his dark sucking tendencies. But however, most of the time he failed, and sometimes even sucking the cruel rules to die. Absurd, isn't it? But fortunately for him, one fine day, he bumped into an angel, and this angel said, I've concocted a potion for you, which will reduce the vampire form. However, please bear in mind that the potion can only help you that much, and it will not reduce your bloodline completely. What you have to do is to really learn how to control your urges for blood. That's the only long-term solution to your problem. Well, of course, this half vampire now, it's this half vampire now is no longer afraid of the sun, and no longer afraid, no longer being hated by all because of his dark sucking tendencies. But of course, he still fears the cross and still hang on hard to try to to try to control his urges of dark hunting. Well,
Is it influence?
maybe not, my dear.
Oh,
Okay, so actually, of course, it's quite, but he's quite connected with what he is now, nevertheless. Of course, ladies and gentlemen, this vampire, this half vampire I'm referring to throughout the speech is yours truly. The main message I want to point out for tonight, besides being sharing a bit more about myself, is that leopards can change their spots, be it some or if not all, if they try hard enough. Well, if I believe that anyone can change himself for the better if he or she tries hard enough, no matter how hard it can be. So, if Darksucker can change himself to be less of a Darksucker, I don't see why zombies, ghouls, witches, vampires, and the others can't do so the same. Well, that's all for me for tonight. Thank you for your time.
So do you think we should eat him?